Thank you for joining me today as I discuss a topic that I enjoy. Today I'll be discussing censorship and how it plays a role in today's society. Censorship is the suppression or prohibition of films, news, etc. that are considered obscene, politically unacceptable, or a threat to security. In ancient Rome, censorship was the office or the position of the censor. I enjoy both of these definitions because I believe that censorship is a powerful force that we don't fully understand. In ancient Rome, there were at a time two individuals appointed by the Senate that held the title of censor. Their responsibility was to maintain the census and to supervise public morality. They were also tasked with certain aspects of government finances. This role is the origin of the words censor and censorship. In ancient Rome, some of the greatest philosophies for political control erupted. Like the great volcano Pompeii, strength acted as a facade, hiding the corruption and wrath that could ensue. There were different collections of elected officials in which the representatives would discuss legislation and politics. Auspices, as they were called, were divided between consuls and praetors. The members of these delegations seemed to maintain checks and balances similar over each other, similar to the system that we have in America today. The two censors of Rome held different titles and discussed in different rooms from the General Assembly. They held the title of Maxima Auspicia and served as the two pillars of the magistrate's power. By this point in history, society had learned of the corruption that comes from appointing a Caesar and sought to reform the system, implementing an election of two officials with overruling power in hopes that there would be a tug of peace between them that would result in fairness and clarity for the people of ancient Rome. The main responsibility for these censors was to allocate resources like land and state funding, but they also categorized common folk into tribes for voting, allowing for the valuing of certain groups based on their needs and beliefs. Censors also had the ability to evict from council anyone who they deemed unfit. In 82 BC, after conquering Germanic tribes and killing King Jugurtha of Numidia, present-day Algeria, Lucius Cornelius Sulla returned to Rome and was sick of the corruption and a council that was always butting heads. So much so that he became the first ever to overthrow the Republic in Rome by force. He must have heard the saying, if you don't like how something's done, then do it yourself, because he implemented the dictatorship and appointed himself as leader. As a conservative, Sulla sought to empower the people by dissolving parts of the government, like the tribune of plebeians, who acted as voter suppression. The reason behind me diving into ancient history is not to insinuate that we need a revolution, but to say that we as humans haven't changed. For centuries, we have indulged the idea that we are the apex predator of Earth, so why do we need to change? Why would we? After years of innovations, we've digressed to an organism that is fed just as mechanically as the creatures we feed on. The two pillars of our society today are social media and the judicial system. I'm not really sure which to fear more. Finally, I bring my argument to a relatable ground as I evaluate the role and effect of censorship in today's society. Instagram has long been young Americans' choice pastime, and it is a platform in which you are incentivized to represent ideas or subjects that other people like so that you can collect the most hearts on your post. So I can understand why it is not the place to try and bring up subjects that people don't want to talk about. But I have discovered something. When you suppress the discourse of a certain belief or ideology, you are left with judgment. Stigmatizing an individual or group for something that they believe in is sometimes necessary, like in the instance with Harvey Weinstein and the Me Too movement, or the KKK and civil rights abolishers. But people today are learning how being an individual and having organic, original ideas can get you in trouble. Just one slip up can get you banned or flagged as a bigot. And the power that social media has to make somebody an outsider or ostracized from society is a step in the wrong direction. One of my favorite movie quotes comes from the first Spider-Man movie, with Tobey Maguire playing Peter Parker. Uncle Ben says to the new hero, with great power comes great responsibility. As Peter is coming to grips with becoming stronger than he has ever imagined, alongside becoming an adult, Peter was seeking an avenue to prove himself. Showing his strength by beating up Flash, his bully from high school, and taking part in WrestleMania competitions, Peter became consumed by anger and grief and lost sight of the values of his family. My reason for mentioning this struggle is to say that people lose sight of what is truly important and to choose to act violently as if it will bring them some sort of redemption or numb the pain of others people's judgment. No doubt there are dangerous people in the world who seek to do us harm, but it is not our role to play God before they do so. As I bring my argument to a close, I hope to have made you think more about censorship's role in today's society. Do you have any ideas that are organic to you that you feel that you'd be judged for saying proudly as something that you believe in? Have you ever felt repercussions for saying something that other people don't agree with? Do you ever feel like it would be just better to censor your own ideas before they get you in trouble? As I go, I wish for you, in a world where your life can be changed by the push of a button, to be careful and to be smart. Thank you, and have a good day.